Glad to have you along here in Mendota as we stream live coverage of the Byron Tigers taking on Johnsburg in this sectional semi. To the right of your screen, you can see the yellow jerseyed Johnsburg team. Meeting of the minds out there. It's the swan song for head coach Dale Hartman. Any of these potentially be his last opportunity to meet the visiting, or I should say his opponent, head coach, as well as the black jerseyed umpire. All right. Umpires want to fire things up as we're just a little bit ahead of schedule, but thanks to those of you who joined our stream earlier when we were testing out all the equipment, making sure everything was working as it should.
All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mendota High School for this 2A sectional semifinal. It's time to meet our players, starting off with the visiting team from Byron. Batting first and playing shortstop, number 20, Caden Considine. Batting second and pitching, number 1, Braden Knoll. Batting third, center fielder, number 27, Andrew Talbert. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 22, Nolan Brass. Playing third base, number 42, Caden McGow. Designated hitter, number 3, Cole Aiken. Designated hitting for second baseman, number 8, Cooper Mershon. Catching, number 11, Weston Auker. Playing right field and batting eighth, number 4, Dawson Criddle. Batting ninth, playing left field, number 2, J.J. Edmondson. And now the starting line for the home team on the scoreboard, Johnsburg. Leading off and playing first base, number 22, Dom Malone. Batting second and playing third base, number 2, Riley Johnson. Batting third and pitching, number 44, Evan Pohl. Batting fourth and playing shortstop, number 15, Ashton Stern. Batting fifth and playing left field, number 11, Jack Nelson. Batting sixth and catching, number 21, Jack Thompson. Batting seventh, designated hitter, number 23, Caden Frost. Hitting for center fielder, number 4, Brady Fisher. Batting eighth and playing second base, number 1, Zayden Pinkowski. And batting ninth, playing right field, number 3, Landon Johnson. At this time, if you please rise, direct your attention down the first base line for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. The officials for today's game. Behind the plate, Mr. Tim Seward. At first base, Mr. Kyle Nutty. Third base, Mr. James Heff. These individuals are registered by the Illinois High School Association. Their experience and integrity qualify them to administer the rules of the game. An attitude of good sportsmanship should be upheld by all spectators, players, and coaches, no matter what their personal feelings or loyalties may be in this contest.
All right, on the mound for Johnsburg is number 44. You can see the left-handed pitcher. That's Evan Pohl. The backstop is number 21, Jack Thompson. That's the battery here for Johnsburg this afternoon. Leading things off for the Tigers will be the shortstop, the junior, number 20, Caden Considine. Batting second here in the first, the pitcher, it's Knoll, number 1, Braden Knoll. Out in center field this afternoon is the sophomore, Andrew Talbert, number 27. He'll bat third. Nolan Brass, the first baseman, in the cleanup position. The freshman hot corner, number 42. That's McGow. He'll bat fifth. And then batting sixth, Aiken, the DH. Some ground rules down the line. 3:05 here in Mendota. So a little bit of a short porch down either side of the field. There is a little room through which a ball could wiggle through directly underneath us. And Consi will get things started for the Tigers. Strike one to Consi. Does his job as a leadoff batter. Trying to let his teammates see what this young man, the left-hander for Johnsburg, Evan Pohl, offers. Working out of the stretch. Fouled away and out of play quickly, 0-2. A called strike and then a foul ball out of play for Considine. Pretty much straight away defensively are Johnsburg as the left-hander Considine looks on. Rolls one over to second, easy play. And Considine is retired for out number 1 here in this opening frame.
Pitcher number 1, Braden Knoll.
All right, tough assignment there for Consi. Saw 3 strikes and rolled one over to second. A 4-3 putout brings up Knoll. Knoll, the pitcher for Byron this afternoon. He'll take a fastball down the middle. Not tremendous velo for Pohl. Working the strike zone so far, his 4th consecutive ball in the strike zone. The lefty's pitch, this one a little bit low. Knoll wisely took it for a ball. 1-1. 1 out. Consi retired 4-3. Knoll looking on. Has to dance out of the way just a little bit. Takes it inside. 2-1. The senior, Braden Knoll, looking on at a good hitter's count. Took a fastball around the knees. Maybe just a little bit low there. And Knoll works the count to 3-1. Fouled high. Catcher moving back. And right off the top of the press box here. Right. You don't see that every day. 3-2, full count here to Knoll. Little looper up the middle is good for a base knock. Not hit terribly hard, but Knoll took the pitch he was given and kind of lofted a little humpback liner out into center field, and Knoll now safe at first for the Tigers with one out. That'll bring up Andrew Talbert, the sophomore center fielder, team leader in home runs, hoping to move Knoll along 90 feet, but would love a lot more. Talbert looking on. Ooh, a little change of pace. Talbert all over it early as it's fouled down the left side. One out. Knoll down at first base. Talbert with a count of 0-1. Pretty shallow and left, I'd say. Again, with this field, it's only 305 down that left field line as Talbert looks on. Snap throw over. Knoll dives. He's back. Byron dugout making some noise, trying to encourage their number 3 hitter, the sophomore Talbert. Oh, picked off. Thrown away. And, really it was the shortstop late covering the bag. And going on first move was Knoll, and he gets the stolen base. That's a set play, right? It's an extended lead. Go on first move. And nobody was covering the bag. And safely at second is Knoll. As Talbert lifts one down the left side, but hooking foul. All of our camera operators were still at school and unable to join me, so I'll do my best operating the camera. You know what you get? You get some free baseball today on YouTube. We're glad to have you along. Talbert ahead on a couple of pitches, fouled 2 down the left side, looking for something he can drive. High heat, Talbert not biting. Sophomore hitter, but a very savvy player. Knows the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Knoll, conservative lead out there at second. Driven high into the air, center field. Center fielder drifting back. Knoll's going to tag. Here comes the throw. Knoll slides head first on a sacrifice by Talbert.
Now batting for the Tigers, first baseman number 22, Nolan Brass.
All right, Nolan Brass, the first baseman. Let's see if he can drive in the run. Senior Braden Knoll at third. Fouled straight back. Brass had a cut. And 0-1 the count with 2 outs here for big Nolan Brass. Looking on, left-handed pitcher and pole. Just below the knee there, taken by Brass. Not a good RBI pitch and wisely laid off. 1-1. On the knees of Brass, he dances, moves back just a little bit, and now a hitter's count with Brass. Duck on the pond there at third base, 2-1 to Brass. Right side, 4-3, and the Tigers visiting half of the first is done after 1 hit, 1 left on base, no errors, no runs, and coming up after this on Byron Tigers Live, Johnsburg.
Say the boy I said it. Classic athletics are an extension of the educational process, and the athletic field is the coach's classroom. Remember, do what's right. And game 2 is for everyone.
All right, Tigers defensively in the infield. It's McGow. You can see him there in the grass to the left of your screen. Consi out at short. Cooper Mershon is playing defense for the Tigers. He's not in the lineup. He'll be DH'd for with Nolan Brass out at first. So from left to right, that's a freshman, three-bagger, a junior shortstop, and senior at second and first. On the mound is Braden Knoll. The backstop today is Ocker. That's Weston Ocker, the junior. And from left to right in the outfield, it's sophomore J.J. Edmondson in left, sophomore Andrew Talbert in center, and out in right field is D. Crid. That's Dawson Criddle, the junior. Ocker's throw down to second, right on the money. And we're set to go here with no score. 1/2 inning in the books. Now batting Johnsburg. It'll be Dom Vallone, the first baseman, wearing number 22. And now it's Johnsburg's time to make a little bit of noise. We're glad to have you along wherever you may be this afternoon. Beautiful day for baseball. All right. Umpire said, hey, you're making a little too much noise down there. He said the chanting is okay, but don't pound on anything, he said. All right, Knoll hits this spot beautifully, and Ocker did a great job of receiving the opening pitch and earning the strike call. 0-1. Knoll working out of the windup, gets ahead, and another good-looking setup pitch, although it was the ball. Knoll trying to see how much of that outside corner he's going to get today. It wasn't there that time, but 1-1. Works the outside again, 2-1. Now, I do a lot more color commentating if I was at a much larger facility where the players couldn't hear me. 2-1 the count. Knoll hits the spot there. So you won't hear me say Ocker sets up outside or inside or anything like that, but watch where Ocker sets himself up each time. Meanwhile, 2-2. Rolled over down that first base line and foul. Ooh, good. Like a cat down there, Big Brass, the first baseman, made a nice little play. Meanwhile, 2-2 the count. The leadoff batter of Johnsburg. Again, it's the first baseman, the lefty, Vallone. He's crowding the plate and waves through. Strike 3 around the horn down to McGow. Mershon. Can't see back to the freshman McGow as they throw it around. And a strikeout to begin this home half of the first. This will be Riley Johnson, the 3-bag for Johnsburg. Knoll working quickly and in on the hands and fouled back by the Johnsburg Skyhawk batter. Painting the outside corner is Knoll. Hit a spot perfectly there, 0-2. He's got his man in a big hole, so Knoll, little wiggle room here if he wants to get him chasing, and didn't hit a spot there as the ball is driven out into right field. Big turn, throw behind the runner, scooped up by Brass on a fine play, and hit right into the gap. And Knoll got a little bit too much to the plate there on the breaking ball. And a great job by the right-handed batter, taking the batter into the opposite field gap. And a great job by D. Crid getting it in. All right, runner on base now as Evan Pohl, the pitcher, left-handed pitcher, right-handed stick. And a snap throw over to first to move the runner Riley Johnson back to the bag. Noel working out of the stretch. No count here to the number 3 batter, Pohl. Right down the middle is Pohl. Wanted to size up his counterpart for the Tigers. Took the pitch all the way. 0-1, another snap throw. Runner back without a dive. Snap throw down. Ocker behind the runner, as you can see to the right of your screen. Nothing there. Should be 1-1 the count here to Pohl. Not a huge lead down at first, but the runner goes, fouled. Potentially a little hit and run. It's not always a hit and run, of course, when the runner goes, but the number 3 hitter Pohl was considerably behind the ball as he fouled it down the right side, indicating he might have been trying for that right side hole. In any case, 1-2 to the batter Pohl. Noel out of the stretch, the senior. Another snap throw. Ooh, it's down, and I think the Tigers caught a little bit of a break there as it skirted under the glove of Brass, but I believe it hit the umpire, and it stayed in the vicinity, and Johnson not able to advance on the play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Noel out of the stretch. Right side, there it is. Let's see if he goes second to third. He'll round it. Criddle gets it back in. And a great job on consecutive defensive plays by D. Crid, getting the ball back in. And that's huge because it keeps Johnson out at second base.
Now batting for Johnsburg, shortstop number 15, Ashton Stern.
So now the shortstop, it's Ashton Stern. Runners on first and second. Yep, courtesy runner out at first for the pitcher. Anyway, Stern goes to work. First sign of trouble here against the Tigers. And taken for a ball 1. Tigers managed 1 base runner in the top half of this first inning. Did not score as they left Noel stranded on third. Now in a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of this first. Runners on first and second. Ground ball left side, could be 2. Concy to second. Cooper the turn, dug out by Brass, but it's late. I'm going to be honest, that looked like it was going to be too slowly hit to get 2 out of it. And although Concy got it out quickly and an excellent turn by Mershon, and then another good play down at first as the ball was dug out by Brass, not able to get Stern on the fielder's choice. So runners on the corners here for Jack Nelson, the left fielder. Importantly, though, for Byron, 2 dead. Not out of the woods yet. Noel looking on. Fouled away. Ocker collects it off of the fence, which, as you would expect, surrounds the backstop here, including our view from the press box. It is what it is. Strike 1, 2 outs. Runners on the corners. McGow even with the bag. All right. Umpire wants to slow down the pace. Wanted the batter to be able to get set. All right. 0-1, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Ooh, a little fake move to third. Growing up in Major League Baseball, not so much anymore, but trying to catch that runner on first, napping. Back to work, 0-1. A bender tries the back door and just a bit outside. 1-1 on the batter here. Again, runners at first and third, 2 outs. Auker's got to work the backstop. Ooh, a fastball swung through and missed by Jack Nelson. Coach always has a decision to make. Do you try to make something happen here with runners on the corners? Yep, there's a little delayed steal. The throw goes all the way down and into center field, and I was just talking about it. Interesting opportunity to try something. And it was a delayed steal. Auker threw a one-hopper up the middle, and it was not handled out there at second. And a run does come in to score. All right. Yep, somebody in the dugout says that's how it's supposed to work, gentlemen. And sadly for the Tigers, it worked just as you draw it up. You take a risk. Anyway, now a runner in scoring position out at second. Johnsburg takes the lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. 2 strikes on the batter with 2 outs. Swung on. A little bit of a defensive swing there for the batter as he fouled it out of play. Right. Again, this is the number 5 hitter, the left fielder, Jack Nelson. So a base open here for Knoll. Do not give in to this young man. And a fastball on the outer half is waved through and missed for out number 3. 2 strikeouts on the inning. 1 error against the Tigers, which allowed the run to come in from third base to score. And after 1, here in Mendota, the Tigers trail Johnsburg a score of 1-0. We'll be back after this on Byron Tigers Live. All right, if there's one thing we know, it's that these Tigers can score some runs, right?
Batting first and top of the second for Byron, third baseman number 42, Hayden McGow.
They're on a prolific winning streak, are the Tigers, and no worries. It's too early to worry, right? You find yourself in a little 1-run hole. Let's see if McGow can help chip away. Down the right side, and almost on that right side, and falling foul. Today was the last day of school at Byron, so I was able to skip town, but my camera operators were not, so it's just me. Ooh. I'll let you be the judge there. That one called a strike on McGow, quickly 0-2, facing the left-hander on the bump for Johnsburg. Pole's delivery threw it about 55 feet and back to the backstop, collected by Cole Aiken. All right, a waste pitch there for McGow, 1-2. The freshman 3-bagger. Very patiently taking a pitch there, and this umpire crew likes to do things by the book. It's not wrong. Sometimes you can get away in league play. Coach is sitting on buckets outside the fence, but he moved the Johnsburg coaches back into the dugout. McGow takes a fastball outside. And McGow, the freshman, a savvy player, despite his youth, has worked the count now full. Chokes up on the bat, takes one down the right side. It's going to drop in. McGow's going to leg it for two. Here comes the throw. McGow slides in, and he's safe at second. A seeing eye base hit for McGow. I mean, it landed. I don't think it was right on the chalk, but it was just about on the chalk down that right side. And McGow, we were just talking about his savviness, tried for two. It was a risky play, don't get me wrong. He was a little bit closer than maybe you would have liked it to be out there at second, but that's all immaterial as McGow safe at second. You can also call that a double. A ball that landed just past the dirt down the right side. It doesn't matter. Runner on second here for Aiken. Ball in the left-handed batter's box there, taken by Aiken. All right, I'm going to put a solid 2B for McGow in the book. Meanwhile, Aiken looking. They got a base open, and Pohl wants nothing to do with the strike zone right now. Either that he's a little bit rattled, and that might be the case as his pitching coach comes out to chat things over. We're glad to have so many of you watching. We are down in Mendota, Byron baseball sectional semis. The Tigers trail Johnsburg 1-0. But McGow, a leadoff double here in the top half of the second. And now Cole Aiken has worked the count 2-0 with no outs. Aiken is our DH this afternoon, by the way. Another sophomore, young team. Actually, a team that's made up of all 4 years. Freshman through senior. McGow out at second. Ooh, a fastball moves Aiken off the plate just a little bit. Didn't like it. Not the call. The pitch wasn't his. Doesn't want to ground ball to the left side. He's got to move McGow over. And a little roller back to the mound. He sizes up McGow, and Aiken sadly not able to get the job done. Pitch before that, he wisely took a pitch, so he wouldn't do just that. This one got it out over the plate, but a little tardy on it and a little roller back to the mound.
Catcher, number 11, Weston Ocker.
So McGow still out there at second. Weston Ocker, the batter now. Tigers have got to advance. And Ocker showed bunt there, pulled it back, and meanwhile, Pohl, the pitcher, the lefty, took a little something off it, and Ocker waved through it. Third baseman playing back, not biting on the fake bunt attempt by Ocker, and that's out of the held it back 0-2. Left, see that third baseman can play back. Ocker has got to move the runner here. Nope. Fastball down. Great job by the backstop there of Johnsburg, keeping it at the plate. 1 out. Ocker looking on. 1-2. Painted the black, and Ocker cannot pull the trigger. An outstanding pitch by Pohl.
Now batting for Byron, the right fielder, number 4, Dawson Criddle.
And it's up to D. Crid, who's made a couple of great defensive plays. Let's see if he can get the job done with the stick. McGow out at second. Criddle fouls it away and out of play down the right side. Any friends watching and listening, shoot me a text. Let me know how you're doing as the Tigers trail it 1-0 here. Criddle waved at a fastball a little bit below the knee. Couldn't catch up with it, and it's 0-2. I like how these Tigers choke up on the bat, as they should with 2 strikes. Got to make something happen here as D-Crid looks on. In a hole, 0-2 with 2 outs. Strike 3. Pole made short work of Criddle, and a leadoff hustle double by McGow goes to waste as he's stranded out at second. This is the sectional semis, and if you get this far, we know you can pitch it and catch it and hit a little bit. And right now, Johnsburg looking pretty tough here early on. 1.5 innings in the books. Tigers trail Johnsburg by a score of 1-0. We'll be back for the home half of the second after this on Byron Tigers Live. All right, to the bottom half of the second, Tigers trailing at 1-0. I'd like to give a special shout to Ron Boyer. Boyer, if you're really in Switzerland, it's got to be getting close to your bedtime, buddy.
Number 21, Jack Thompson.
Zermatt, Switzerland. Boyer? My father-in-law used to say another country heard from, so in this case, it's literal. Boyer watching from Switzerland. All right, to the home half of the second, Noel pumps in a strike to get ahead of Jack Thompson, the catcher. Noel, the senior, looking on. Ooh, painted the black. And it's 0-2. Now, Noel made a mistake in a similar situation last inning. Yep, too much plate there. However, popped up and out of play. Mistake. By that, I mean it was 0-2, and Noel kind of hung a breaking ball out over the plate, which was lifted into right center. And that run did come across to score. Still ahead, 0-2. Noel is going to have to work. Yep, that time it was well off the plate for Noel, and Thompson took the pitch. Now that opens the door, though, for a fastball. And there it was. You change their eye level, you change their mental approach by changing speeds. And you little show me breaking ball, which was not a competitive pitch in the sense that it wasn't going to be hit, but it set up the fastball, strike 3. All right, Caden Frost, the DH, the number 7 hitter. Ooh, a nice-looking pitch there for Noel, just missed. Little League ball, that's the strike, but here at the high school level, that's easily off the plate. Noel didn't get the call. It's 1-1. Johnsburg has the bottom of the second with 1. Nobody on base, as you can see. Ooh, that a baby. Noel came back and he said, well, I'm not going to give in. But he painted the black that time, 1-2. All right, fouled away. So the only pitch of the sequence that was the ball was the very first one that just missed that outside corner. And Noel has gotten the batter to chase a couple of times and then painted the black. Let's see what they have in store here as Ocker gets the signal from the dugout. Nope. happens to the best of us, Mr. Noel. You overcook a pitch a little bit and it gets stuck in your palm. I think that one's just going to go to waste, right? It's not even a setup pitch. 2-2. Frost, high and tight, takes it, and it's a full count. All right, Noel. It's work, babe. Okay, swung on, defensive swing, fouled out of play by Frost. Caden Frost is the young man's name. The DH. Jack Thompson was the previous batter. Swung on, lifted, center field. Talbert was shallow and easily collects it. Out number 2. See where I was going with that earlier? Jack Thompson and Caden Frost. Oh, gosh, that's just too corny to spell out for you. But I will anyway. Wouldn't that have been cool if it was Jack Frost? The 2 previous batters were both named Jack. Okay. Fastball a little bit high to Taden Pinkowski. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here, bottom of the second. Noel paints the outside. Ocker does a good job of selling that as well. Although really that's right there on the outside corner. Just a little bit low. Ocker does a great job of receiving the baseball for his senior, Braden Noel, in a count 2-1 with 2 outs. Swung on, fouled, right side, out of play. And that'll make it 2-2 here in the second inning with 2 outs. The batter, the second baseman. Noel wanted it. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to not add to the drama. Noel was walking off the field, and I didn't want the umpire to hear me. Didn't get the call. Ground ball down the right side. There's big Nolan Brass. Collects it at his feet. Steps on the bag. And no threat here in the bottom of the second. All right. Strikeout. F8. And then a 3U. Retired by Mr. Brass. 2 innings in the books here at this Mendota sectional. It's the semis. Tigers need a run. They trail it 1-0. Back after this on Byron Tigers Live. All right, to get the feeling the Tigers need a run. I mean, goes without saying they need a run. They trail it 1-0, but if not, just to break the seal, right? Break the ice a little bit. get something going. And it's J.J. Edmondson who can do just that, leading things off here top of the third. The left fielder, the sophomore, J.J. Facing the lefty. Another fastball is overcooked, this time by the Johnsburg hurler. And J.J., you got one job. You got to get on base, baby. And he wisely takes it. This time, waves through a ball that looked to be in the strike zone, 1-1. The fleet-footed left fielder, J.J. Edmondson, looking on and a count 1-1. Swung on and missed. Another fastball. No off-speed pitches yet to J.J. One might expect something potentially here. 1-2. And a called strike 3. J.J. frozen.
Now batting for the Tigers, shortstop number 20.
And that'll turn things around back up to the top of the order. And Caden Considine, the left-handed hitter, right-handed defensive player. Fouled away and out of play to the left. So Consi not a switch hitter, just a straight lefty. Otherwise, he'd turn around and face this left-handed hurler from the other batter's box. Consi didn't like it. Wasn't his pitch. Taken for a strike. And it's 0-2 with one out. Great pitch, not a strike, but a fantastic pitch by the lefty hurler of Johnsburg. Consi's got to work here, 1-2. Ground ball right side, Consi quick, and the stretch down at first, and Consi is, although by an eyelash, retired for out number 2.
Now batting for Byron, pitcher number 1, Braden Knoll.
All right, that'll bring up Braden Knoll. Tigers need a run. They trail it 1-0 here, top of the third. Knoll lifts it, right side, right near the bag, and caught down there by the first baseman. And sadly for the Tigers, they are retired in order here in the top half of the third. Plenty of ball game left, but the Tigers have got to get something going on offense. All right, after 2.5 here, no runs, no hits, no errors, nothing across. Tigers trail it 1-0. We'll be back for the home half of the third after this on Byron Tigers Live. Had a baby hawk. That's a good looking throw down to second base there on the throw down. Home half of the third inning. It's the right fielder, Landon Johnson, batting, wearing number 3. He'll be in the left-handed batter's box. Tigers have got to keep the game close.
Bottom of 3.
The Johnsburg pitcher is dealing.
For Johnsburg, right fielder number 3, Landon Johnson.
All right, McGow, as you can see left of your screen, he's in on the grass to take a possible bunt. And swung on and missed. A fastball waved through by Johnson. 0-1. Holds up his left